Hello, and today I have for you a NEI tutorial. NEI is not enough items. It is the list that you see here. This mod adds a list that helps you find the recipe for whatever you need to find for any mod that you have loaded in your pack. This will be for the Hexit mod, so this will be an older version of Not Enough Items. I'll simply be showing you a couple of tricks to help you navigate through the NEI. Now, to start with, let's go with something practical. Let's say you have an item like sand, and you want to find what the use of sand is. So you simply hover your mouse over it and press the U key. It is the U key for on default. You can change this in the options, but for now you just press U and you will see the different uses for sand. And then click up here for other uses. Ooh, falling star. And so you will see all the uses for sand. Now while you're in this little menu, let's say I want to know all the uses for gunpowder. So I can either hover over it and press U for uses, or since I'm in this menu now, I can simply right-click it, and it will show me all the uses for gunpowder now. And so here it shows me TNT, of course, bullets, and other uses for gunpowder, and many other uses for gunpowder. Now let's say here I see this salt. I want to know what salt does. So I right-click it to see its uses, or I can click U, the U key, and voila, I can see the uses for salt. Alright, and so on and so forth. These, unfortunately, are part of the Zulu mod, and they will not show in this NEI. Because the Zulu mod, I don't know why, but it does not link well with the NEI in this older version. So it will not show you the special brewing recipes. If you want to know what these do, you'll have to look them up from the Zulu mod wiki. Now, let's say I want to go back a page on the NEI to see where I got here. So I will press backspace. Now it's showing me back where all the uses of gunpowder are, because that was the last page I was on. I press backspace again, and now it's showing me what the uses for sand are, because that was the last thing I looked up before this one. I backspace again, and it takes me back out to my inventory. Of course, you can also just hit escape and get all the way out. Now, to search things in the NEI, you can simply click these, of course, or if you know what you're looking for, you can click here and type in whatever you're wanting to find. For instance, sand. Now if I left click one of these, it will show me how to craft sand, or whatever I left click on. Now if I right click it, it will show me the uses for sand, or whatever I right click on. Okay, now let's say you know what mod you're wanting to get into. Like you are wanting to see what all is inside of a specific mod. You simply type in @ and start typing in the mod. Like, let's say we want to know what all is in the Zulu mod. So voila, I typed in @Zulu, and we have everything that is from the Zulu mod. Now, let's say Tinkers. The Tinkers construct mod. Simply typing in /@Tinkers will help narrow it down enough for you to pull up everything that is in the Tinkers mod. Tinkers construct, of course. Now, that about does it. This is a short tutorial just to help one find out how to navigate the NEI easily while in survival mode. I don't really know all the creative aspects of it, and all these other things have their use. You can kind of play around with it. Also, of course, there's the controls that you can change. One thing that comes up sometimes is if you're playing and all of a sudden your NEI options disappear, and you freak out. You're like, where did they go? You press the O key, and that on default, the O key will enable and disable the NEI. And so if you ever find yourself with the NEI disabled, you simply press the O button, or if you go to controls, you can change that to a button that is harder to press, so then you don't accidentally press it. Now, in this older version of NEI, it seems as though the enchantment button is broken, so you can't really do anything with that. In newer versions of the NEI, you can determine if you press the enchant button over an item, it will show you a list of enchantments that that item can get, and it shows you the enchantability of the item. And so how good your chances of getting a good enchantment are in the randomized enchantment system of 1.7 or earlier. Alright, now another thing, the recipe button, R button, whenever you're in your inventory and you want to find the recipe for something, you press R. Now the problem is this button clashes with the inventory tweaks mod. As you see, I click this little button right here to get into the inventory tweaks settings. Now, the sort key for me is numlock, but on default it is the R key, and so when you're in the NEI and you're searching up something and you press R for the recipe, it will sort your inventory, auto sort, in which case your items will just end up all over the place in however way it decides to sort them. And although the sort key is a benefit for being able to sort your inventory on demand, it's not so good if it's sorting your inventory when you don't want it to. In which case, I recommend either changing the sort key or changing what key you press to look at a recipe. Alright. And that about does it for this NEI tutorial. I hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. And that will about do it.